sport requires some sort of equipment. For baseball, it's a helmet, bat, glove, and cleats. For football, it's a helmet, pad, and cleats. But either way, these sports require you to have something to protect yourself from the injuries that occur while playing them. Cheerleading is no different, but it's especially important during cheer because cheer is the top leading cause for catastrophic injuries in women's sports. Catastrophic injuries can be anything from neck breaks, concussions, as well as becoming paralyzed. They have to be something that can change the player's life forever, or even just take them out for a long period of time. These usually don't take weeks to recover, they take months or even years. Either way, cheer is there to help you protect yourself from having these injuries with one piece of equipment, the cheer shoe. Cheer shoes are not like any other kind of shoe, and they're different for each kind of cheerleader, but either way they do have some sort of similarity. Cheer shoes tend to be all white. They don't have to be, but they tend to be, and tend to be more flexible. That way the cheerleader can bend their foot in whatever way that their space is or their coach might need them to. For me, I tend to have a wider, more thick foot, and so I need a shoe that's more flexible. I have a mesh insole as well as plastic outliers that help keep my arch in place while giving my foot the flexibility that it needs. I also tend to have a thinner rubber bottom. This way, when I land on my toes, my feet can ripple from that. Some girls may need more support though. Instead of having this mesh outlier and the plastic parts here, they may need plastic all around to help support their ankles and feet. This isn't an issue because different cheer shoes are built differently, and not every cheer shoe is built for every kind of cheerleader. My sister could never wear the kind of cheer shoes I wear. She tends to have a thinner, more narrow foot, and so that cheer shoe could cause great injury on her foot. She has a cheer shoe that tends to be more thick around the outside, as well as having a thick rubber bottom to help support her ankles. But the way that cheer shoes are built isn't the only way that you should think about them. You also need to see if they are cheaply made. Cheaply made cheer shoes can cause great injury to your ankles and knees. I've seen many girls have to sit out for weeks because of these kind of injuries. Though cheer shoes that are more expensive may cause these kind of injuries, it is significantly less likely. You can see how cheaply they're made by looking at reviews or trying them on in a store. While these stores are hard to find around the Midwest, they're not impossible. Typically, if you go into a sporting goods store, you can find at least some kind of cheer shoe, but it's usually easier to order online and look through reviews. But you have to know what kind of foot you have. I know that I have a thick, wide foot, and my sister Sage knows that she has a thin, narrow foot. But if you can't decide by looking at your own foot, you could easily ask a coach or a parent, because they would much rather you find the perfect cheer shoe for you and have less chance of a catastrophic injury than not help you at all. Besides that, your cheer shoe also needs to fit you very well. Cheer shoes can tend to be too tight or too loose, and that's because size differences within shoes. I typically wear a 5.5 in cheer shoes, but I wear a 6 in regular shoes. This is because cheer shoes tend to run smaller in the brand that I buy from. But that isn't for every kind of cheer shoe. Some cheer shoes tend to run bigger as well. But you need to check that out and make sure that you're buying the right size for your foot, because having a too small of shoe could cause great injury to your foot. I wore a too tight of shoe for a very long time. I wore it for about 2 years, and that caused me to have bunions as well as calluses. It was very frustrating because even after I stopped wearing the shoes, I still dealt with the problems that they gave me. If I could go back 2 years and tell myself to stop wearing those tight shoes and get a nice pair of mesh shoes, I totally would, because I'm still dealing with the repercussions from them. But too tight of shoes are not the only problem. Too loose of shoes can really cause you some serious injuries. Too loose of shoes can not help your ankle, and so then your ankle could roll and you could get a sprain, as well as your knee, and you could get an MCL or an ACL tear. Either way, it is extremely important to see that your cheer shoe fits you very well. Overall, cheer shoes tend to be kind of hard to find your perfect fit, but it's definitely worth finding the right shoe for you. It may be difficult and time-consuming, but For me, I would much rather have a shoe knowing that it fits me perfectly and I have less chance of a catastrophic injury than not taking that time and knowing I have that risk.